everybody. So I'm here with Dennis Stoika. I've been looking forward to actually this conversation a lot. You know, your background and just such an interesting life and so many things and so much awesome information that you teach people, especially during this time. So would you mind telling us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so I'm Dennis Stoika. I have a long time in law enforcement and the military. And so at 19, I joined the Marine Corps. I spent 4 years in the United States Marine Corps. From there, I got out. I was in the first Gulf War. And from there, I got out. I went into law enforcement. I was in law enforcement for a little under 5 years outside of Chicago, Illinois. Worked a year at Midnights, got a master's degree, and figured why not apply for the FBI? Why not be in, the premier military in the United States, the United States Marine Corps, and then why not apply for the premier FBI, right, law enforcement in the world? About a year later, they called me, and I've been in the FBI for 23 years now. Worked some drugs and violent crime in New York City. Was there for 9/11. Came to FBI headquarters. I've been in DC since, working some terrorism matters and some a lot of administrative type matters, being a supervisor, and so inspection type matters. I worked for the director of the FBI now for about 12, 13 years, whatever it's been. And this whole last year, I've actually been assigned to work for the United States Attorney General. We have a huge project for law enforcement that we're doing that will be released in October, which is the President's Commission on Law Enforcement and Administration of Justice, reviewing lots of different aspects of policing, social problems, reentry into society, you name it, from A to Z, how to make policing better. In addition to all that, right, I have a part-time business. It's Modern Air Warriors. It's integrated warrior training. It incorporates coaching, reality-based self-defense, grappling and striking, functional fitness with sandbags and kettlebells and bodyweight exercises. It incorporates nutrition. We teach yoga, breath, movement, meditation. We have monthly challenges. We have yearly camps. It's a very, it's referred to as integrated warrior training. So it is coaching that is multifaceted for the body, physical workouts, sleep, nutrition, our diet, any products that we take. It incorporates our being, mental and emotional wellness, right? Spiritual wellness. It incorporates having a personal PhD program where people are continuing to listen to podcasts, right, to learn more, doing online programs or trainings, right? Going back to college. Working on yourself in different aspects of mental and emotional, whether it's control or resiliency, mental or emotional. So I'm a better spouse or husband, or a better leader at work, better with my kids, different strategies, tools, and practices that we incorporate for all these types of things, right? Spiritually, whatever that is for someone specifically. And then, what else? Business, right? So whether you're a business owner or whether it doesn't matter whether you own your own business, right? You're an entrepreneur, or maybe you're an intrapreneur, higher up in a large company, or you're just a middle manager, whether you're IT, whether you're white collar, blue collar, whether you're a mom at home, right? It's about whatever business you're associated with. And then we incorporate things that people want to work on and very different types of topics, right? So we're a very, very, very holistically business that we really bring in the entire or whole person. Wow, was that a lot?
That's so awesome. There is so many things that I want to talk to you about. And then why not start at the beginning with the Marine Corps? Why you joined the Marine Corps? How was that for you?
Yeah, so I joined the Marine Corps. I was initially going to go in high school with someone else, a friend of mine that was a buddy, and we were going to go into the buddy program. And I couldn't get in to do what I wanted to do. And I'm like, Mike, I can't get in to do what I want to do. And so I went actually off to college for a year, in community college. And it really wasn't for me at the time. And I ended up joining the Marine Corps. And we weren't in the same a boot camp, if you will. We were like 1 or 2 off, but I did see my buddy there that I was going to go in with out of high school. So we still made boot camp together. I still got to see him on Sundays. Sunday morning, they allow you to go to church, and most people go there just to sleep at the time, right? But I joined the Marine Corps because I believed it to be the best of the best of the United States military service. And it was a great 4 years. I was in during the Gulf War. And at the end of the day, got out because I didn't think that that's where I wanted to be, to raise a family and have kids. Great what it did for me. To this day, still keep the hair short, right? It's given me a lot of the strategies, tools, and practices that I use today in setting goals and breath work and all kinds of stuff, right? In addition to yoga and doing breath work. But there's a lot of leadership lessons to learn. There's a lot people can learn from what the military does in whether it's corporate America or mom taking care of kids, right? And that ultimately, when I got out, finished my college, I didn't have much left. I was very lucky in the Marine Corps to be able to continue most of my college while I was in, during where I was sent and how I was signed up for a lot of online learning, right? And when I got out, enlisted at a police department, right? And was a patrol officer for several years, working, street crimes, things of that nature, right? Domestic violences and thefts and stolen cars and you name it, right? So writing tickets, yes, stuff like that, right?
That's so interesting that you mentioned that my wife was in the Marines, and
Awesome.
that transition that from,
Yeah.
because at that point where she was like, this is great, but not the place I want to raise a family, and for her, for many people it is, and that's great too. Uh, and then in that transition into policeman, now in law enforcement, how was that transition for you? Almost changing your identity in a way, right?
Yeah, so this is a great question, and I'm gonna preface it with who I am. So by the way, this is the first day after my book, The 1% Warrior, was published yesterday on Amazon.
Congrats, man.
It's out there for 99 cents. I'd ask everyone to purchase it for 99 cents. It's only going to be 99 cents for about 2 or 3 weeks. We're trying to get as many people to get it as possible, right? It'll incorporate a lot of what we discussed today, I'm sure, in this conversation as well, right? But the first chapter is who I am, and there's homework to write who you are, and there's different strategies, tools, and practices. Talks about growth and self-defense, fitness, leadership. It finishes with my obituary, legacy, and again, this is a big piece of who I am and how I train. But so to answer your question, on transition from high school football player to Marine to police officer to FBI agent to even working for the United States Attorney General now, is it comes back to understanding what my why is and what my purpose, my passion, and principles are in life. And as a coach, when someone signs up for my coaching, this is what we do with you. It doesn't matter whether you're 16, 19, or 50. A lot of people don't know what their why is. And my why is to serve. My why is to serve people. So whether that is serving the United States of America as a United States Marine, serving the people of Illinois as a police officer, right? Or serving the American people as an FBI agent, running my own part-time business. I think I'm about ready to start year 13, or we finished 13, whatever year we're in right now, right? It's about serving people, like yourself as a doctor, right? It's about providing service to others. So my expertise, my lifelong journey of what I have learned, right? My book, The 1% Warrior, it's every day in every way. We're getting better and better, right? Every day and every way we're getting better and better. 1% better every day in every way is the subhead of the book, The 1% Warrior. And when we're working daily towards a growth, right? No matter what it is, we continue to grow. And my growth has been about serving others, right? Whether it's in my job or my passion with my business.
And that's so cool when you mentioned the name of your business, and how business actually is related into health so much. That there's a book called "Business Is My Higher Calling." from a guy in the East Coast, which is great too. But I think, you know, the research uh, shows that, you know, if you go and you ask somebody what if they're laying bricks and they say, okay, I'm laying a brick, and the second person, I'm building a church, the third person, I'm building the house of God. You know, is whether you're religious or not, you know,
Perspective. No, but it's perspective, right?
the point, yeah. And they actually did the studies and they showed that the first person has a job, the second person has a career, the third person has a calling.
Calling.
Yeah.
A calling, right? Yeah.
And
Hey, so this is awesome. I just wrote a Facebook post yesterday on my Facebook group, specifically that. I said, "What are you working for in your community where you're at?" And it was all three of those listed. Boom, boom, boom. All right, do you have a job, or on one end, or do you have a calling on the other end? Right?
right,
No doubt about it. Mm-hmm.
right. Exactly. And it makes such a big difference.
And, you know, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're the cook in the Marine Corps. You know, the Marine Corps has jobs that are cooks. People ride trucks. People fly airplanes. People fix airplanes, right? People do radio stuff. People do electronic stuff. People take care of medical records. I mean, it's a large organization. We need everybody to work, right? And the bottom line, though, is that most of those people, right, 99.9, there's always going to be someone that probably just wants to get out, or, you know, something didn't work for them, right? But the bottom line is, when you understand your purpose, right, you're not really working. The guy that's building the house of God is like happy to be there to build the house of God, right? And the person that's just there for the paycheck, maybe they need to evaluate who they are and what they do. And this leads me to, right, whether it's the first chapter in my book, Who I Am, to the last chapter, which is my obituary, the legacy, right? And people should be doing this themselves. Who are you? What is your background? I'm male, I'm white, my parents were this background, right? I played high school football, I went in the Marine Corps, right? Things that I like, things I, you know, whatever. What makes me who I am, right? And then what is my purpose, passion, and principles? What do I stand for? What's my ethos, right? Write those things down and set goals, because everything you do daily, right, creates who you're going to be tomorrow, and 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 20 years. We have exercises that we do. It's called, what we have, part of our, you know, there's different tools that we use in our program, right? And one of those is creating an integrated training plan for people. We take that, we make goals, we set goals for people. We give you different strategies on how you vision and see that, right? Whether that's through meditation or contemplation and visualization, and you see your future self. But in order to see your future self, we even create a mind gym for you, some place for you to go to have conversations with yourself, where you can bring mentors in, coaches, doctors in, very holistic view on knocking. It could be creating what's most important for you. What is the 20% that's most important to you? So I can get rid of that other 80%, right? On a daily basis, am I working towards the things that are most important to me? Am I getting rid of the things that are fodder, just get in my way on a daily basis, right? But we create that mind gym, and we're in there with anyone else I want to ask. And when you're good at that, you can even see yourself, what you're going to be even 40 years from now. It doesn't have to be 40 years. Someone could do that for what I might look like 4 years after I finish college, or any event. If something's going to take me 3 months to do, what will it look like in 3 months even, right? So it can be used for business. It can be used for personal. But great. It's awesome that you brought that up, because I just spoke about it, and it's 100% correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And the crazy thing is that the more people feel that way, and just changing the perception. So when they went into companies and just changing the perception, it decreases the amount of sick days. It increases productivity, and so it has an impact, pretty influential impact on it. You know.
And that shouldn't matter, again, whether you're the CEO or you're anybody, again, right? So if you see the garbage laying on the floor, you pick it up, right? It's who you are and what you stand for. It's a greater calling for that person that's building the house of God versus that I just showed for work. Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And I started doing what you are mentioning about probably about 8 years ago. Many different disciplines show how to do it and everything. But I thought when the first time I did it, when you do 20, 30 years down the line, and then you can talk to yourself then, and then you can, such good technique to solve problems, huh? And to feel unstuck.
So look, these are tools that at people that achieve the highest levels of success, whether you're a president of the United States, whether you won the Super Bowl if you're in the football, right? The team that wins, or the champion boxer, or the figure skater, the celebrity that achieves from nothing, and like Oprah Winfrey, nothing to superstar, right? I'm from Chicago. She's from Chicago, right? People that have received much success in life, and it doesn't have to be even financial. Sometimes it's financial. A lot of times it's financial, right? But success is all what it is too for somebody, right? What someone believes to be successful. Successful could be creating a cadre of 100 leaders, other people that are following you that learn the same thing underneath you, right? It could be success that I've built my parish up from 10 people to 100 people to 300 people, if you're right. Success is whatever someone is looking to get, but there's no doubt about it. It's about using tools, right, in order to get you there. You win in your mind before you go to battle, is what we say. And it doesn't mean battle like I'm going to physical battle like a Marine or a Navy SEAL, or a police officer, right? It can be mom at home with taking care of 3 kids, right? She goes to battle every day, right? People like that have those jobs in their world, have some of the hardest jobs in the world that are out there. So it doesn't matter whether you're an executive of a Fortune 500 company, you own your own business, or you're mom at home, right? Everyone can use coach and growth aspects in multiple different disciplines, right? Whether it's seeing doctors or coaches or therapists, and having mentors in their life, and being parts of communities of practice, to grow themselves 1% better every day in every way. That's what it's all about. It's about making sure that you're the best version of yourself, right? Best version of yourself, no matter where you're at when you're there. So I'm 51 years old today. I'm trying to be the best version of myself today, and I'm trying to be 1% better every day in every way. So when I'm 90, I'm still the best version of myself at 90, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I know you're promoting. That's what I'm promoting, and that's about working with others too, right? You can't do it alone. No one has done anything good ever alone by themselves. You're not going to go very far very fast, right? You got to go together with people. And that's why even as a coach, I work with other doctors and therapists and stuff, right? When needed for certain things, or recommend other experts in different businesses too.
Yeah, definitely. And you make me think of that mental rehearsing, and I guess in battle, I mean, you know a lot better than the and in any part of life. But from your perspective, how would that apply? I think you mentioned, the mental rehearsing, going there, the battle, what can go wrong, and then what are the experts that can tell you this can go wrong, that can go wrong, this can go wrong, and so the team is pretty important that you bring in. What has been some of the team that you've brought in, or that have made pretty big influence in these constant transitions for you?
Yeah. So one of the things I've done for myself, so someone asked me, like, Modern Era Warriors, how did you get started, or why do you do what you do in my part-time business, right? And a big piece of that is because I felt like there is no one thing. There's a lot of different coaching programs out there, but they're not holistic enough. They're not bringing enough of other aspects into it, right? There's a lot of different martial arts out there, but they're not promoting yoga or breath and meditation, right? And so this is why I have integrated warrior training, and it's I have sought out experts in certain areas, right? In coaching, experts in yoga, experts in different aspects of functional fitness, different aspects of the martial art, right? And have been able to build a a proven system, right, to coach people using these types of things that I've mentioned, right, which are the strategies, tools, and practices to take people, right, to 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 take you from wherever you're at, right, with whatever problems and issues that you're having, right, um, to provide you the bliss that you're seeking in order for you to achieve outcomes and results that people desire, right? And we just use these types of things, right? That what I'm trying to help people with, right, is my lifelong journey and helping give some of that back, depending on what someone does for work with me, right? And accelerate your time in order to learn things, right? Accelerate your time. Show you what I've had success in my life, or show you in other executives and other doctors and people that I've coached, right? And how they've been able to grow their business by doing things like this, right? And take them to another level. It's all about trying to take it to another level, right? And again, you're not competing with anybody else other than yourself, right? 1% better every day in every way. Your competition is yourself. Make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah. Every level has a devil. You know, I mean, that it doesn't matter how high we are, how low we are. It's like, when people come to the hospital and they're sick. When I was in Hawaii, billionaires, millionaires, big business, interesting people, and it just doesn't matter. At the time that you're sick, there is only one focus. For doesn't matter how big your enterprise is. If you're laying in a hospital bed, there is one focus: to get out of that hospital bed,
Yeah, the hospital bed. Yeah.
to not be sick. And so, but we bring those things back into our lives, and we take it without bringing those things in, we can take them for granted. And so I definitely understand what you're saying of how it is so important to integrate everything into a holistic way. And then you made me think of something that is so relevant right now. How do you see right now? Every generation has its hardships, and its battles and its benefits. There is some good things about the young men right now, but it's so interesting that you have this modern warrior integrated training, because I feel that there is so much lacking of that. We don't have that brotherhood mentorship, that hey, I'm a man,
Wow.
you know.
Yeah. So this is awesome. This is awesome. I'm taking some notes too, just to make sure I hit some things too
Same
occasionally,
here.
right? So I also believe that um, look, there's generational dynamics. We are starting to lose the last persons on our planet from our early world wars. Our people that went to Vietnam are in their early to mid 70s and passing away. Um,
Mm.
People learn from past generations. Um, Warrior mentality, right? So monitor warriors. When you're working breath and yoga, and you're using even some of the martial arts for discipline and concentration and meditation, and as some of our strategies and tools that we promote, right? Even functional fitness. Functional fitness doesn't include you going to the gym and sitting on the machine like people do today. Okay, so it's a lot about old things that work, and they're always going to work. Okay, at least in our current environment that we live in, they still work. Okay, and the mentorship, it's one of the chapters strategy in my book, right, is mentorship, coaching, and communities of practice. Mentors are different than coaches, and people need to be a part of communities of practice that serve them well, and that they can also serve to provide something, right? So we must have mentors in our life. This is a problem with a lot of the younger persons that maybe get into some trouble, or they don't quite know where they're at or what they're doing. They don't understand their why, their purpose, passion, principles. And look, the average 16-year-old doesn't know what they're doing. You didn't either. I didn't either. Right? For the most part, most people don't.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
for sure. I didn't, for sure.
Right. But I, whether you're the now generation or anybody, you still need the mentoring, coaching, and a good community to be part of, right? And no matter who you are, again, the current generation or the older generation, you made mention like if you're in the hospital, you need to work on yourself. I will always say, no matter what, you need to work on yourself first. And it's counterintuitive on what a lot of people think. And it's counterintuitive because I think a lot of times, depending on maybe from a Hispanic background or Asian background or certain backgrounds, right? You know, maybe we're told that you're going to be like this as a wife to your husband in some cases, right? People have stereotypes. And the bottom line is, you know, I'm not saying if that's wrong, okay? If you want to be a mom, a stay-at-home mom, and serve your family and your kids, that's awesome, right? But whether you're that or a business person or whatever, it doesn't matter again, right? You must work on yourself to grow yourself in various aspects, that integrated training again, your body, physical workouts and sleep and nutrition and diet, right? Any medicines that you take, right, to make yourself whatever needs to be done, right? Your being, which is mental, emotional, right, and spiritual aspects, personal PhD programs, listening to podcasts and online programs, incorporating breath, yoga, meditation, contemplation, visualization, things for your mental and emotional control and resiliency, and then we move into balance and having balance of yourself. So I'm not focused too much on one thing, and I what's maybe I'm avoiding, which is most important. I'm spending time with my spouse, my significant other, my kids. I place enough emphasis on work and play. And then business-wise, again, whether you own your business, you're an entrepreneur, whatever, you know, I'm scheduled, I'm making payments on my mortgage, I have emergency fund, I'm happy with my salary, all these types of things that come into play, right? Everyone needs to work on those types of things for themselves. And when you're happy, and by the way, you can't focus on all. Sometimes you pick 2 or 3 things that you want to focus on, right? Most for a certain year or whatever too, right? You're still working on everything, but we can emphasize something specifically. But when you work on yourself, you are a better individual. And when you're a better individual, and this is where all the listeners need to, that don't maybe subscribe to this thinking, you will show up better in all other aspects of your life. You will be a better wife, husband, father, leader at work, leader in your community, leader at church, whatever. You will. I guarantee you, if you spend some time on personal growth yourself, you will show up better. What are your thoughts on that yourself and any other podcasts?
I think actually I was just talking to so many people about this. I've been doing jujitsu not too long, but it's amazing. So I started training with a black belt to get more techniques and all of this. And it's amazing the difference in rolling with a lot of people, you can get a lot of benefits. They challenge you in different ways. But when you roll with a black belt, it's just constant gold that they're dropping. Constant. It's so much information that they're telling you, this is this. And he was telling me yesterday, don't worry about trying to get one lock in. It's about the next one. I mean, it's like, don't get too greedy on it, you know? And so I thought, man, in business, we get so greedy in one idea. Oh, this is the idea that's going to make it, like, or this is the program that's going to make it.
So there's nothing I promote, right? I promote goal setting, right? But in order to have goal setting, you have to understand what your, again, stand is, what your ethos, what your vision, what your mission is, in order to come up with priorities.
Right.
You must have priorities. You shouldn't just take a shotgun, right, and shoot the wall, right? That is not going to be good for your personal growth. You must be very specific, and I call it front sight focus. You must determine, once you understand your why, your purpose, passion, principles, and you're working on yourself, you can move to business, you can move to relationship with spouse, you can move to any other topics that you want to move on, right? And part of your integrated training plan, you can be working on 2 or 3 aspects of your life for the year. But once you have that, then I need to determine priorities within those. And then come up with goals and then objectives to meet those goals, right? And I call it knocking down the dominoes, like playing dominoes, right? But we need to have front sight focus on what is most important and on a daily basis have an AM ritual, PM ritual, and I'm big into journaling, but I'm not big into too much journaling. And even at a minimum, like once a week, evaluate what we're doing. Am I on track, off track? Every day we should be doing that on the daily basis, very quickly. But we're reviewing the priorities and the goals. Am I on track? Am I off track? Am I working on it? Am I working on something that's not one of my priorities? Oh my God, how'd that happen? Right? Because people will take you off track easily, right? And look, sometimes for our work, we all work for somebody. So I may not be able to determine all my priorities myself or what I do on a daily basis at work. So sometimes those things, right? But your individual goals, your individual business, right? You should be the one that's driving those types of things. And I tell people, right, you're the one that's writing your own script on a daily basis. You write your own book. Your daily things that you do every day is determining who you are tomorrow, who you are in 30 days, who you are in a year, who you are in 3 years, who you are 40 years out, who you are 40 years out. And you visualize that. You visualize success.
It's so. I heard a shaman said, "A man is not a warrior until he's left in the jungle by himself and can only lead himself by his own dreams." You know, and so it's like the dream is there, and then you mention about medicine, like that as one of the things to do. And medicine, crazy enough, when I went back and looked at the word medicine, it actually means appropriate action to restore hemostasis. It's not a substance, right? Substances are released because of the action, but these daily things, like that is the making of the character. That is the making of the person that you're talking about. This week, what I do today, and the word identity, you made me think about all of this, that when the word is broken down, it actually means being repeatedly. And so it's like that daily action is like taking a vote to say, no,
Repeat it over time.
yeah, it's like, hey, I'm going to become that person. And here's my vote today. And not doing it, you're actually voting that you don't want to be that person, And so um, everything that you said is so important. And I think, and in terms of ancient, because you're so right, ancient practices,
Yep.
bringing them back, it's so true. And
So one thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you. One thing, because I can't let it go. Right. You're from Colombia,
right,
and the U.S. still to this day, right? We're made up from others coming to the United States, from Europe, anywhere around the world, right? And yoga is come to the United States. I don't know. I'm not going to say it wasn't here in 1960, but it's become very popular over 20, 30 years in the United States, right? And the average person that does yoga in a yoga studio today, there goes for asana, meaning they go there for movement, and that's not yoga. If you actually talk to someone that is a really yoga teacher worth their salt, right? Their weight in gold, right? And that's not the intention, right? It's yoga is about breath, movement, and meditation. It's and the movement part is like the last part, right? So it's having that breath, which works on your witness. Okay, doing breath work at the very initial stages, there are different types of breath, right, and that can do different types of thing for us. But doing breath work allows you to best understand your own witness and your thoughts and action. And then over time, eventually get to meditation on those types of things, right? Where I have less clutter, what we call it less monkey mind, right? The less just noise in my head, right? And when we incorporate those types of things a lot of people don't do shavasana pose, resting pose in yoga too. They'll get out at the end of the yoga session and walk away, right? They're missing a big portion of what yoga is. And just like you said, medicine, the actual medicine itself is the tool of medicine then, right? It's a tool of the definition medicine.
Yeah, it's the action. So taking a pill would be one of those, is a type of medicine. But going out, even the goal setting. So the goal setting, when they do studies, like the goal setting is you get the dopamine just from setting a goal and achieving even that little goal. And so have you noticed that in your students, in the people that you work with, when they start doing these goal settings and they start achieving little ones, you notice a difference? Huh? Have you noticed
Called
that?
the Big Mo.
What is
It's
this?
it's called the Big Mo, M-O, for momentum.
Yeah.
The Big Mo for momentum. It's one of, in the chapter that I talk about some growth strategies, I talk about the Big Mo. And it's when I get on a roll, right? When a team gets on a roll, there's nothing stopping you, right? It's easy to continue to knock down the next domino, right? This is why it's hard for a lot of people to start. And sometimes it could be because I don't have my priorities written down, right? A lot of people will go to the gym in January, they'll quit 3 weeks later or 2 months later or whatever, right? How important was it for you? So do people will not be successful at a lot of things, not just the gym, if you don't understand your why in life, your purpose, your passion, your principles, and understand why is it important for me to include being healthy. Why do I need to be the best version of myself physically? And why do I need to eat better foods and diet and exercise and sleep if we can? That I'm the one that doesn't get enough sleep, right? I at least I know where I need to spend time, right? But there's challenges in everything, right? There's challenges in everything. People need to continue to use their mind instead of just sitting. I'll share. I don't own a TV. You heard me. I don't own a TV.
Yeah.
I mean, I will watch some things via computer. I'll go to my girlfriend's house and watch some TV shows and stuff, right? But one of the reasons why I am as successful in my career and do what I do, I don't have a lot of wasted time.
Right.
So I don't have a lot of wasted time. So people that are successful, if your listeners want to be greater, they want more in their life, they want to be more successful, they want to be more passionate about things, they want more of whatever it is that they're seeking, right? Whatever outcome and results that they're looking for, you got to work harder. And I'm not saying that, a goal eventually should be, make more money and work less, perhaps. Sure, a lot of us do that. Okay. But it's not always about money too. It's about providing back to people, right? Success is for one person can be very different for another person, right? What we view as success. A success for me in my business is actually training a small cadre of people, apprentices, to eventually be able to continue to do what I do when I'm no longer here. That's success for me. If that breeds money, so be it, right? If that breeds fame, so be it. I'm not seeking those things, right? So again, it depends what someone's doing, why they're doing it. And if they're not successful at certain things, I would say, how does it fit? We have a tool in my coaching. It's called FITS. Does it fit? Is it the right time? Is it the right target? Is it simple enough? Things like this, right? So is it important enough? Is it the right thing to be doing right now? Is there something more of a higher priority to be working on right now instead of what you are? Maybe that's why you're not successful. Maybe it's worded in such a way, the way you wrote your goal down, that it's not written positive. So it just doesn't, believe it or not, the way we write things and the way we talk to ourselves, more importantly, right, affects us on whether we're successful or not. So a lot there, I know, chew on.
Yeah, no, and you just made me thought of something. And so in the FBI, you talk about priorities. How do they put their priorities?
Hey, so this is awesome. So we've had the same priorities for 5 years, by the way. And I just got an email yesterday from our FBI director that said, I'm on vacation today, actually, but I did some work stuff, unfortunately, today. It is what it is. And I have emails that are waiting for me to, some people work at my personal number. So they're emailing me needing stuff too. But the FBI just did a significant review of our past strategy that we've been using for 5 years. And we have pillars in there on what we're trying to do for the American people and how we go about certain things. And we kept some of the first top couple core things, and we have a strategy management system. So the bottom line is the Bureau reevaluated what we've had in the past. They've worked with executives in headquarters in the field And then it all trickles down to see, are we working on the right things still? Are we not working on the right things? What is more or less important, right? And then where do we go from there and setting those priorities? I have not finished watching it, but the best thing to come out of this question, right? And to tell you what they changed, because is every so often for myself, it's a yearly basis. In December, I sit down, and this is what I promote for my students. I promote this for business owners.
Right.
A larger corporation, maybe some of their things like their mission and visions. Our mission and vision of the FBI didn't change. We're doing the same thing for protect the American people. Okay. And we list, terrorism and cybercrime. Those are top couple things always, right? We get down to other aspects of violent crime and child exploitation and things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
It just, we have a list of priorities, but an individual should have priorities. In a business should have priorities, and you should be evaluating those things, right? On a larger perspective, at a yearly basis, what did you do and what do you want to do next year? At a yearly basis, every year in December, I buy a bunch of books in December. This is what I'm reading for 2020. This is what I'm reading for 2021, right? So come up with that plan, a focus plan, right? Plan of action, and then work that plan. And then you have to evaluate that on the 6-month mark, every 3 months, every month, right? Whether you're meeting those things. And if you don't write it down, and if you're not evaluating certain things, then you don't have a plan. If I don't have a plan, what do I have?
Yeah.
An experiment.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just gotta go in and do this every day. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just living it. So I think the important thing to come out of that question is understanding that we have to have a vision and mission. We have to have priorities and goals, and we should be evaluating those to see if they still fit our mission. Do I need to adjust? And again, a lot of tools, and a lot of them come out of the military. UDA is one: observe, orient, decide, and act. We should constantly be observing, which is witnessing what is going on with this. Orient myself with how does it fit with me and anything in the larger, what's important, right? Make some decisions and then act. And you're constantly going through that flow in a special project or a specific priority that you have that you're moving forward, right? What needs to be done this month on it. You're making decisions, right? To get to the next month or to get to the next goal, maybe financially or number of customers or whatever, again, it might be for that person, outcome, the result they're looking for.
Yeah, and you're so right. The priorities can have such a big impact on decreasing the amount of anxiety.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
overwhelm is a lack of clarity on the priority, and so that's so big. And so, what is next for you in the short amount of time that we have? What's next
I
for
love
you?
it. So I just wrote a book. What's next for me? I'm going to continue working for the government for a few more years, I hope. That is my goal and objective for that. For my business, my book was just released. I'm hoping to do more podcasts and get on some TV and radio as well, to promote what we do, how we do it, why we do it. And in addition to that, now that the book is done, my next piece is an online subscription. So like Netflix, right? So I'm going to be putting coaching talks, reality-based self-defense for co-ed, reality-based self-defense women only, top 100 grappling. So right in your BJJ, I'm going to put like the top 100 grappling techniques on there that I believe that fit best with reality-based self-defense. Striking techniques, offense, defense drills, functional fitness workouts will be on there. Yoga will be on there. So it's about trying to reach a broader audience, right? I'm getting some coaching myself. I've gotten business coaching in my past, right? We talk about coaches, mentors, and things of that nature, right? I've had plenty of coaches. I have this year, I have had 2 coaches, one to try to help me grow my business in certain ways, and another one specifically to this next. I've actually had 3 coaches technically because we're finishing the book. That coach came over from last year into this year. So I have a book coach to help me grow my business in certain aspects, and I have this very specific coach again for audio and video help with this upcoming project of mine too. And then it's about identifying specific nights, and making sure that we start knocking down those dominoes, doing what I've set out for myself to do by making videos for people, right? So I hope that Modern Era Warriors Integrated Warrior Training will be it will be online eventually soon enough. And if we do well, I eventually hope to have apps out there so people will have it on their iPhones, and um, they're all the other types of equipment people use today, whether it's the Fire Stick or Roku and things of that nature. So that's how people want stuff at their hands, right? They want it available on their phones and at places. So
Yeah.
that's my next step. Yeah.
Well, that's great, Dennis. Well, Dennis, thank you so much for being here in the podcast, and I truly enjoyed it. And all the best with your book. I got one already, so I'm gonna dig in and go through it. So I appreciate your time.
I thank you very much for having me today. I hope all your listeners learned something from this too. They can visit the website monitorwarriors.com to learn more. Go to Amazon, search the 1% Warrior. The book came out yesterday. It's 99 cents for the next 2-3 weeks. Great bargain for people, right? And if I would ask them to even read one chapter and go to Amazon and comment on positive things that they got out of that chapter. So open the book, find out what interests you, and then give me some reviews too. I greatly appreciate it. Good luck with your BJJ too, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. Take care. So I'll put
Okay,
it. I'll
take
put
care.
it. I'll put it. Stop here.